The second one is in the book of Shemot and Still, or commonly called Exodus chapter 23. Starting at verse 14, and it reads, 3 times shall you keep a feast unto me in the year. You shall keep the feast of Matstsâh. You shall eat Matstsâh 7 days, and I command you. And the time appointed of the month I be. For then you came out of Mitzrayim, and none shall appear before me empty. That's Shemot 23. The last one is in the book of Vayikra, commonly called Leviticus. We read it earlier in chapter 23. And it reads, starting at verse 4, these are the feasts of Yahuwah, even set apart assemblies, which ye shall proclaim in their appointed times. And the 14th day of the first month at evening is Yahuwah's Pesach. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of Matstsâh unto Yahuwah. 7 days ye must eat matzah. And the first day you shall have a set apart assembly. You shall do no servile work therein, but you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. 7 days of the 7th month is a set apart assembly. You shall do no servile work therein. So those are the 3 passages. Really, we can boil it down to 2. Shemot, commonly called Exodus 23, where it says that you shall keep the feast of Matstsâh and the month of Abib, for in it you left the house, or you left from the land of Egypt. And Leviticus, chapter 23, it says, in the first month of the 14th day, you shall keep the feast of Pesach. The feast of Pesach, and on the 15th day, you shall begin the feast of unleavened bread. What is the difference between the passage in Shemot and the passage in Leviticus?
The one in Shemot says the 14th day of Egypt.
Yes, so yes, that's the right answer, but it's not what I'm looking for. That's right. That's what we're looking for. Once again, the one in Shemot, chapter 23, says 3 times a year you shall keep the feast of Yah. One is the feast of Pesach. In the month of Abib, for in that month you left from the house or from the land of Egypt. In Leviticus chapter 23, it says, on the 14th day of the first month, you shall keep Pesach. The 15th day you shall begin Matstsâh. What's the difference? Matstsâh? I didn't. Okay, so I didn't. I'm going to read them again. It ain't that hard. I know y'all know it. Once again, chapter 23. I'm going to read 2 verses. 3 times you shall keep a feast unto me in the year. You shall keep the feast of Matstsâh. You shall eat Matstsâh 7 days, as I commanded you in the time appointed of the month Abib. For in it you came out of Mitzrayim, and none shall appear before me empty. Vayikra, chapter 23, it reads, these are the feasts of Yah, even set apart assemblies. And the 14th day of the first month at evening is Yahuwah's Pesach. What's the difference? Now, every time also means ears being in the green state. So the root of abid is bid. The root isn't used in the Hebrew Bible, but it is an Assyrian word which has the meaning of to be fresh or to be bright. Now the masculine noun, so we're going from the root and now we're building on the words. The masculine noun eb, it means freshness or fresh green. And the masculine noun abid means barley, specifically barley when it is still in the ear and not yet properly processed into grain or flour. So, barley in the abid state, it is ripe. So it is mature enough to be eaten or used, but it has not yet found its purpose. So you were taken out of Egypt in a state of maturity where the Most High could use you. He just didn't tell you what he was going to use you for. So every year the Most High is telling you, remember I need this is the season. The only month pre-Babylon that we have a game for. The only month pre-Babylon that we have a game for is the one that you were taken out of his life. That's not by coincidence. Because he's trying to tell you that when you are mature, every year you should be in a state of tenderness. Every year when you get to 11 now and all those things are removed, you should be in a state where you are tender. Meat that is tender is ready to be, it's good meat, right? It's not hard, it's molded. But so when it's tender, it's molded. That way I can use you for this, I can use you for that, I can use you for whatever I need to use you for. First you gotta be ready. You gotta be right. Which is why you get all the leaven now. Every year. Now the word eb, right, which was one of the words. The word eb is aleph bet. Aleph bet. What else? What other word for those who are scholars is aleph bet? Oh, okay. So the word for abid, one of the words that use the letters of abid is actually father, right? So the word for the letters of abid are aleph bet, yod, bet. Aleph, bet, yod, bet. The aleph means what? Shrimp. The bet means what? House or inn. That's very important. Because house or inn. The yod means what? Hand represents what? Your will or your strength. And the bet means what again? House or within. So the word abid, he's telling you something. The word abid is the power of the house working the will inside of you. His will is inside of you. So when you are in a state where his will is inside of you, now I can mold you. When you are ready to do my command, oh, now I can use you. Now I can send you. Oh, I need you here. I need you here. Oh, you got my word inside. Okay, cool. Now I can send you amongst these children. You're moldable. You're tender. So remember, in the month of Abib, that's when I took you out. Because in the month of Abib, that's when I can mold you and use you. Right? Boom. So Abib, the will of the Father within. Right? So now we go to first fruits. So first fruit is inside of this. So what is used as the first fruit? The barley, right? The barley. Okay, cool. So, and what can you not do before first fruits is done?
Can't eat none of that. Can't eat none of that new.
You can't eat anything. You can't do anything which has grown until the first fruits has been presented to the Creator. Right? Okay, cool. Have sheep ever been compared to humans? Okay, so that's one. There's another, there's a very, it's in the beginning. In the beginning, there's sheep. There's a passage where sheep are being compared to humans. What is that? You should know. Oh, okay. No, so the sheep were being compared to man. And it said, I had a dream that all of you were sheep, and your sheep bow down to my sheep. And my sheep. Right? Barley. So the process of marking the barley, right? So once the barley is in the state of Abib, what the priest would do is they would have a red cord, and they would wrap it around what they were going to use for first fruits. They would mark it. They would mark the first fruit for the Creator.
Read it out, read it out. You hear it, right?
And once they marked it, now this is set apart to the Creator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, cool. So they would mark it, right? So there's another passage, maybe y'all can help me remember. There's another passage where a group of people are marked. What's that? A group of people are marked for the Creator. Say that again? Oh, so the 144,000. The 144,000 are marked. For those who don't know what we're talking about in the book of Revelation, chapter 7, when the plagues are about to begin, Yahushua said, wait, you can't do anything. Yahushua said that the Malachim or the angels are going to go and reap the harvest, right? The Malachim are going to go reap the harvest, and they're going to separate what? The wheat from the tares. So they're going to reap, but before you reap, you got to do what?
What's up? You got to be right.
Before you reap,
You have to separate.
no, you got to do what? You got to mark my first fruit.
Set them apart.
So before you separate the wheat and the tares, that's cool. Y'all don't do that. The Most High said the four winds of destruction, y'all don't move until my 144 are marked. What is that marked with? The seal of Yah? Okay. So in the book of Revelation, I believe this is chapter 9, it says that the mark is the name of the Creator. Those who have my name in their forehead.
And my Shabbat.
And the Shema says what? He says, Shema Yisrael, Yahweh, Elohim, Yahweh, Akkad. You should love Yah, Elohim, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words that I say unto you shall be in your heart, and you shall write them as frontlets before
Your eyes.
you shall mark my words in your forehead, not walk around with no box on your head. That's why you can't be the people if you don't know how to walk around the head. Walk around the box? No! Put my name on your forehead. That's how I mark you. What is my name? My name is my what?
Mark.
Okay, but what is the name?
Character.
My name is my character. You can't know my character if you don't know my name. That's why when Moshe asked, he said, well, I am who I am going to be, but my name is God.
Right? Come on, bring it out.
My name, this is my what forever?
My memorial. My memorial.
My memorial forever. So when you see anybody walking with my name, you better think of me. Because that's my will inside of them. That's my first fruit. So the Most High said, Abib, when you are in the state of Abib, the Most High can use you. He's working you. He's wanting you to take you to himself. The 144,000 got to do what? It's 144,000, 12,000 from what?
Each tribe.
Each tribe of Israel. At the beginning, when we are in the book of...
Say that again. 12 from what they?
12,000 from what?
Each tribe.
No. The church. No. Jehovah's Witnesses.
Each tribe.
No. Anybody.
Each tribe.
I just want to make sure that we know the Most High said 12,000 from that will is inside of them. Because they were mature enough to be ready before anybody else was. Before anybody else was, they said, "Most I'm here. I'm ready. You can use me however you want to. And in the woods, on this side, on that side, I'm ready. I am a bee." So whenever you think of Pesach and you think of the month of Abib, you think of how you were when he brought you out. You can't be immature and be brought out. You can't be bickering over calendars and be brought out. You can't be bickering over names and be called out. You can't be fighting with your brother and your sister and be called out. He wants a mature people, only the mature are ready. Because I can't use you if you're not a bee. So when we think of Pesach from now on, think of your own Pesach. When the Matstsâ called each and every one of you, I can almost guarantee it, he called you before you answered. So he called, but you weren't ready. And then he called again, and then he was like, "Okay, now you're right. Now I can watch you." Because remember, she told the priest to do what to the people? Look, Numbers chapter 6. She told the priest to do what to the people? Bless the people and do what? When you bless them, you're going to do what?
Put my name on.
Yes,
Place my name on.
Put my name on my people. Put my name on them. So before he can reap of any other nation, before he reaped of any other nation, he said, "Israel is my what born?"
My firstborn.
So before anybody else, I need Israel to be front and center. I need them to have my name on them. I need them to be ready because I want to use them in order to reap the rest. But I can't reap the other nations if Israel is not ready. Because I need you to be presented before me. Because once you're presented to everybody else who saw your presentation, they're like, "Okay, boom, now it's time to go to everybody else." How many of the nations grab on to your seat if you're not mature enough for them to hold on to you? Are you a Gentile? Get off my seat, Gentile. Are you a Christian? Get off my seat, Christian. You're not mature. You're from evil people who don't know. Abib is the state of preparedness. We were talking about preparedness yesterday. Don't say those who will yield themselves to God. You have to be mature enough to yield yourself to God. I'm not all the way there either. I'm not all the way there either, but I know that that's the mark that we got to reach.
Come on.
That's what we got to get to. So it's not always the sinner. Once the sinner, always the sinner. Low. But we have to get to a state of preparedness where most I can say, "Now my children are ready." Why do you think that he heard in Exodus chapter 2? Because the people were ready. Y'all cried before, but y'all not ready. But once the people are together, once that temple is built, and we cry out now, he's like, "They not fighting over the feast day anymore? They not fighting over shoes and over in the hall. They not fighting over women wearing pants on. They not fighting over whether these brothers and sisters or this brother should be in the midst of the congregation. They're actually going to get them and bring them into the congregation.
Come on.
Okay. Y'all better mark my people. Mark my people. And when you mark them, then the 4 winds can come. And whoever is in mark, but you will be marked if you are obedient. Because you will have the will of the Father working within. Hallelujah.
Did he? What you mean to say? Gotta let it marinate. Y'all let that marinate a little bit. That marinade.
This is say la moment.
Dog, you did a sex and chop? That boy good.
Check to see if they're ready with the line for the Seder. Again, I'm not going to be before you long. I just have a few things to say. I'm not going to go all the way to detail because we're going to cover some of these classes. But I know we have new people present, so we are now going from Passover into the first day of unleavened bread. We're entering into the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And he was covering the even the barley part, which is the first step of being ready for the rest of the season that we're coming up on. And I just want to focus on leaven today because it's about purging. Like I said, we're not going to cover the whole topic. I don't want anyone in the room to take any offense to anything I'm going to say. I'm going to say some things that will offend some people, offend myself possibly, because it's going to be true, all right? So there's a couple words in Scripture that use for leaven, or in regards to leaven. One of them is chametz, another one is seor, all right? Chametz and seor. And when you look at what chametz or seor is, one of them is going to be an agent that actually creates leaven, okay? And this leaven goes through what's called a fermentation process, right? So when you look up organized fermentation, it's going to tell you organized fermentation. And what happens is that the yeast, which is actually a natural thing, and actually, I went to my computer yesterday, just while we were sitting outside with all that pollen, my computer was like green. So in ancient times, when they made their bread, when the bread was sitting, it was not literally trying to add all the yeast like you do today to get it to rise. So while you let it sit out, this living organism actually just falls onto the bread, and it's getting into the pores of the bread, and the longer you let it sit, the more it will rise. And it starts the fermentation process. That living yeast, when it gets into the dough of the bread, it sucks out all the sweetness, all the sugars of the bread, which now sours the bread out. So that's why we have the large bread, what they call sourdough bread. Sourdough bread is left sitting longer than other bread. You have some bread that are called sweet bread, they're prepared quicker, and of course now modern time they put sugar in them. But in ancient times, it wasn't like how we have now. We're reading all these ingredients. Literally that night, it wasn't going through that cabinet like reading ingredients. It was the command of being prepared. It was the command of being ready. You do not have time to roll the bread, go catch whatever's going on TV, go take a shower while the bread is sitting. You don't have time for nothing else. You get your bread, you roll it, put it on a kneading trough, you roll it, you put it directly in the oven, and you cook it right then. So anyone that cooks in here, you may be able to help me. But when you're making bread, y'all hear what it says in the New Testament, right? A little leaven leavens the whole lump. Our Creator has painted pictures so clearly to us and has given us parables. The word parable in Greek comes from the term parable, which means to throw alongside. When you throw alongside, what that means is it's something that you can see and you throw alongside that you can compare the two to get an understanding in the scripture. So the parable now, for the term we're used to, about bread and a little leaven left the whole lump, let's throw it alongside what really happens with bread. When you actually make your bread, you take the dough, you roll the dough. If you let the dough sit, it's going to start to rise. And now we have other leaven aids that you put in that you make it rise even faster, right? If you want to make a new loaf of bread and you don't want to wait the same amount of time you had to for your first loaf of bread, all you have to do is take portions of the old loaf. You know, you make the bread, you might roll it, you want to cut it into a round plate, whatever falls to the side is leftover dough. You take that leftover dough, put it in a new batch, you roll the new batch, it's already leavened bread. You don't have to wait any longer because you brought over old dough. So the parable is a little leaven left the whole lump. When you say that, what he's saying is you take a little bit of the lie. You take a little bit of the false doctrine. You take any of that falseness that you came up in and try to put it in you today in your spirit, man. It's going to always have you missing the mark. You're going to be puffed up in lies and sin. All right? about deliverance. He's preparing us for our deliverance, but he wants us not to be puffed up in wrong. As the brother just went into, we love it when a plan comes together. He wants you to be a bee. He wants you to be right and mature enough to be able to receive from him. But if you are too mature, there's a such thing. You know, children say, oh, he's grown. When you call a person grown, that's a little child that's acting like a what? An adult, right? So there's some people that just grown. They're not mature, right? That's what sin does to you. That extra leaven now makes you grown and not mature. Meaning when God is actually wanting you to be a bit or right for him to use you, you can't be used because you have other stuff you're holding on to. That old leaven, when it gets in you, it makes you want to hold on to your old ways. He wants you to purge and let that go so that he can use you. Another quick parable. Maury touched on about the wheat and the tares. We have, look at the picture again, how most high is. Ruach. What is Ruach? Okay, we say spirit, but what is? Wind. Breath, wind. So when you look the word Ruach up, we know it's called the Ruach HaKodesh, Holy Spirit. What is the Holy Spirit or the Ruach? The Ruach is also called the breath or wind. What does wind do? Blows. What does flowers do when the wind blows? What do tree branches do when the wind blows? So now let's talk about wheat and tares. Wheat and tares look exactly alike. At birth, wheat and tares, when they first start to grow, they look exactly alike. But when they come to the point of maturity, one becomes a bee and one becomes grown. What's the difference between wheat and tare now? Here's the parable to that. A wheat, when it's fully grown, when the wind blows, whichever way the Most High says goes, when I was going this way, when I was saying go that way, hey, when we go to flow in whichever way the Ruach is leading, what does the tare do? The tare is stiff. It stands straight up, and it refuses, because it's so grown and so full of that leaven already, that it has no give to the Ruach of Yah. Do you know that praise that we had in there was in tears before we even started praising good? Do you know some people will look at the way we praise today and say, they too churchy. I thought we came out of the church. Y'all ain't saying throw the baby out of the bathwater. There's nothing wrong with praise. There's nothing wrong with worship. There's nothing wrong with deliverance. Deliverance comes through praise and worship, and us being gathered together in the name of the Most High Yah, allow his Ruach to move us. And we're used to holding back tears. We get so stiff. We used to be in tears, man. A lot of times. Because I don't want them to see me what? Cry. I don't want them to see me cry. So you try to hold it back. And when you try to hold back the tears, that leaven has you resisting the Ruach God. That's trying to move in your life. That's trying to fully come in. He needs you a bib so you can let him in. So now back to this unleavened bread. It's all about if you're waiting, and my thought process of my image is this moment. So a little leaven doesn't hold on. The little bit of you that's left in you is affecting your relationship with the Most High. My sister asked me yesterday about flesh. You're never going to get over what flesh can do. The word tells us that the flesh lusts against what? The spirit. Right? Yes. Why did the Messiah say there's none good but the Most High? Because once he took on flesh, he did not any longer really be considered what? Good. When he was from the spirit of the Most High, sent from Shemayim, he was good. But when he took on this, and he said, I don't want to be made like the Malachim of the angels. I want to be made like my brothers. I want to put on that flesh to show them how to overcome the flesh. I want to feel what they feel in their flesh while they're going through this. And yet, we're supposed to be like followers of Messiah. Like he said, oh no, get off me, Christian. That ain't how we're supposed to treat people. The Messiah came to the people in their flesh. To tell them how to overcome their flesh and to tell you that your flesh is all going to test you. The reason why there's none good with Elohim is because the flesh is subject to sin. The flesh is subject to sin. So now we have to exercise our Ruach and be strong in the spirit to keep our spirit, our flesh in subjection to our spirit so that we deny the flesh. But what happens is when we're not conditioning our mind, filling up with the oil we talked about yesterday, the word of the Most High, and when we meditate, what is meditation? You got some people, they done lost serving Yah, they all in the meditation now. Right. Oh, I just want to meditate. There's nothing wrong with meditation. You said meditate on his word daily. upset with Sister Marshall when I said, well, I don't agree with you said, Moray, from 3 years ago. I'm still upset with you. And you keep thinking about that? That's leaven. That's leaven. We can't keep holding on to and meditating on negativity. But Mashiach knew we was negative. We the cause of his death. And he gonna say, I can't stand y'all, or don't come to me. He can't tell you to overcome your flesh. He told you how to overcome your flesh. Immediately when your time comes to tempt you, you got to meditate on that Torah. You got to meditate on this word and reject what the adversary is bringing. Man should not live by bread alone, but by every word that goes out of the mouth of the Most High. So what I want us to focus on for this season is 11 mind. Our thoughts, 11 mindsets, the things we meditate on. The reason why some people have stopped believing in the Most High, because somebody gave them a book. Well, see, in this book, it talks about flat earth and round earth, and in this book, it tells you about the stars in it. And so we get curious and do what? Well, I got time for the suit. No, you don't have time for that too. No, you don't. Don't take your time to meditate on garbage that people have presented to you, and you don't even know the word of prayer. From cover to cover, with a show of hands, how many of you have read the Bible before? Y'all don't get mad at me after I do this stuff. With a cover to cover. Okay? From cover to cover. From cover to cover, how many of you have done it more than one time? Show of hands. Now I got a question. I'm not being offensive. And do we still know y'all? So what should we still be meditating on? If we did it cover to cover, we should be doing it cover to cover and cover to cover, because in the cover it says meditate on his word when? Daily. You ain't got time to let your mind be level with anything else. We don't even understand his word yet. We ain't got time to study nothing else. But we're meditating, and when these thoughts come and we start meditating on them, we try to always figure out why not to serve him. Why? More raids, we can't eat more. Now, actually, I can tell you the scientific reason for a lot of these questions I'm going to ask. But here's the thing. I'm going to give you this answer. I don't know. I do know, but I don't know. Because what I know don't matter. Y'all said don't eat it. But you got people trying to justify them chickens, which is the most nasty part of the nasty abominable animal. It stinks up the whole house. Exactly. Okay. Well, as long as you double wash and use hot water, use chlorine, whatever you're doing, it makes them clean. It's not coach. You can't coach something. Most I say coach. But if you meditate on that thought, you'll find out a way to clean up any sin. That's 11 mindset. The longer you meditate on trying to justify what it is you want to do, instead of saying, the most I say don't do this, that ain't what it say. And right when you say that ain't what it said, you meditate on that ain't what it said, you're going to try to find every way possible to prove why I'm not going to change this. It's got to be something else to say I don't have to change this. No, once you see it, the most I want you to do it when? Do it right then. That's right. Let me give you the opposite to that. Sometimes we read something and say, I'm going to get back to that when. I bet that wrong. I'll get back to that later. I ain't ready to do that yet. If the Most High lets you read something, that's right, and we've been ready cover to cover, there's so much I missed when I went cover to cover. But as I keep going cover to cover, and I keep going cover to cover, and I keep meditating, we say every year, man, like, you see that? How we see that all the other years? But once you say, you see that? He knows you've seen that. So when should you start doing that? The self-same day. You don't meditate on whether I'm going to figure out how to do this. You already comprehend what it says. So just do it. But the more you meditate on prolonging, starting to do what the Most High says do, you can miss your salvation. Because when the Passover happens, if you have all the leaven out of your house, because it says 7 days you should eat unleavened bread. And the soul that's found eating chametz should be what? Cut off. person comes to you that has hurt you really bad in your life and asks you for forgiveness, you should have a willing heart to want to forgive them.
Okay.
That's right.
You should have a willing heart to want to forgive them. If they hurt you really bad, you ain't going to want them to come right to your house. You ain't want them to come around your family, but you can say, all right, I'm willing to forgive. But then you monitor that individual to see if their actions truly show repentance. Because what did Joseph do with his brothers?
Forgave.
Joseph's brothers was going to put him to death.
Okay.
They threw him in the pit. He was sold into slavery. But when they had to come out of Egypt, after that sheep was marked
That's right.
from that dream that he had, so Joseph was the marked one that was brought out. He was the first fruit that was brought out, right? So he's brought out, but his brothers now had to come to him based on the vision that he seen down in Egypt. They did not know who he was. But when he seen him immediately, he had to go hide himself because tears consumed him. He didn't want the Egyptians to know that those were his brothers. He didn't want his brothers to know that he knew they were brothers and for them to know him. So he hid his face. But he also listened while they was locked up in the cell. And they said, this is happening to us what we did to our brother back in the day. Oh man, I told you, brother, not to kill him.
That's right.
Well, we didn't kill him, we threw him in the pit. But I told you we should have did that to the lad. So now they're going through this, man, we should have done it to our little brother all the years ago. What he's hearing now is what? They have repentant hearts.
Yeah.
They were ashamed of what they've done. Yeah. Oh, I gotta go cry. Carry on with him.
That's right.
He come back. And when he finally revealed himself to him, he did what? He forgave him totally, but he forgave him totally when he first seen him really. That's the heart we have to have, but also we have to use the wisdom not to give a person access to our lives to continue to hurt us without the proving themselves, right?
That's right.
But what I am saying is, let that hurt go. I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of you are the better version of yourself because of the hurt that's already happened to you. If you feel like your parents ain't there, or you feel like your parents weren't there, and nobody ain't never done that for you, and the reason why I'm successful today is I had to work hard for it, well, hallelujah.
That's right.
Hallelujah.
But still, forgive your parents who wasn't there for you. Because had they been there for you, you might be like some of my friends that's still older than me and still need their parents.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
The reason why you can provide for yourself, the reason why you can serve Yah for yourself is because what you lack. And the road he brought you through, like the road he took Moses through, which had to have you not remain in a redundant place. And that word for CO actually means to be redundant, staying in the same old place, the same old, I don't have it. Like, look, I'm tired of having it. I'm going to get it. And can't nobody take credit for me getting it. But still let that hurt go.
That's right.
Because what I want some of you, because I know a lot of us from different backgrounds, different lifestyles, a lot of times the parent that you feel like wasn't there, couldn't be there.
Okay.
The parent did not have the same thing you did not have. So sometimes if they gave you up for adoption, if another family would raise you, they would be the best parent they could be at the time. I know Iman is better equipped than I am. I gotta have it, but I'm hiding from you. I need help. It is natural for a mother, I want y'all to hear this. It is natural for a mother to love her baby. It's just natural. And it's natural for a father to love his baby. And sometimes love will have you say, Iman, please raise it for me, because I ain't got my stuff together. I know how you brought us up. You did a great job. Raise my baby for me, please. Right. Try to get myself together or not. Right. And when they get themselves together, they try to return. They may be 20 years old and you may be 20 years old. But you're still angry at the election with Iman. But look at how good your life is today.
Wow.
Stop meditating on that hurt and understand they might have been hurt also. They need help also, and that was the help. And when they try to come be restored, let the restoration happen.
Okay.
That's right.
If a husband or wife has hurt you, committed adultery, you divorced, ex-wife, your ex-husband, and what they did to you. How many years have been now? 5 years? Why are you talking about that? Why are you talking about that? Right. Let them be and do your life and you grow and die. But until you can let that go, it's going to hinder you. You're going to still be loving. It's going to affect you when the Most High will present you with another husband or wife. Because you're going to carry over that past hurt. That's the time. That's the trick that he does. Let that go. If you are in your flesh, fornication, adultery, whatever matter of sin that you're in, that will ruin your salvation. In the book of Yeshayahu, Isaiah, it tells you, the 56th chapter, that Yah's ear is not so far removed that he can't hear your prayer. And his hand is never too short that he can't reach down and save you. Okay. But your sin has separated you from the face of the Most High. The Most High never separates from us. We separate from him. Okay. Sin is to turn away from him. He don't remove himself from us. When we stop looking towards him and walk away from him, we get lost. And the Torah is our GPS, supposed to find our way back home, probably sons and daughters. And I'm going to close with this, Mr. God. Y'all loves us. The fact that we're here shows that y'all love us. Do you know how many people now have an opportunity to know his name, to be considered a Passover for the first time, to even want to try to come see what it's about for the first time? They're still meditating on the playoffs or what's on TV, what they're going to miss on Sabbath, for going down there to fellowship and to worship. Meditate on God. Do not remain in those negative thoughts. And I want to leave us with this. Husbands, love your wives as y'all love Israel. And wives, submit yourselves unto your husband as unto a master, as unto Adon, as unto the Lord, probably said. And I want to give this a clear visual to both husband and wife. Husband first. Husband, for you to love your wife as Messiah, love the kahal that y'all placed under him, or for you to love your wife like y'all love Israel. What you said, though? We got to stop being so short and so quick to want to write them off. Don't let no insensitive brother with that old leaven doctrine, wives, submit to your husband, or you need to put her away because she ain't submitting now. If that's what a brother say to you about somebody that you love, don't let the pride in you be like, well, I got to put a brother, I'm going to put her away. You know you love that woman? That's right. That's right. And you got to lay in bed by yourself, not use your flesh, and you got to use your life. Because of some other clown. Right? When y'all love Israel, Israel was a mess. Wives, I ain't telling y'all to stay a mess. But Israel was a mess. And y'all loved us back to him. Okay. Husbands, that's the love you have to have for your wife. You have to be understanding. You have to be patient. You have to be kind. You have to be compassionate. You have to be compassionate. But at the same time, you have to set order. You still have to be a man in your house. You're not supposed to let Eve call you Mr. Mark that y'all had you on. But if Eve is right, like Moses' wife is right, and you the one is wrong, submit yourself to the word of Isha, and she's the one that's in the right. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Wives. Anybody got no guns in here, right? Y'all check everybody? The Bronx, y'all check everybody over here?
I'm going to need my purse real quick.
Wives, my sisters, soon be wives. It's time to let go of that woman's self-pride also. If this says submit unto your husband as unto Mashiach or as unto the master, right? It said acts, not differently, acts. Meaning when you submit to him, I know myself, when I see something in the word I really don't want to do, I'll turn my head up to it. I'll be, oh boy, I get scared, like, please forgive me, right? When a husband is trying to do righteousness in his household also, it should not always be a whole lot of back talk. It should not be a whole lot of mouth. It should not be that under talk, the attitude. That should be. That's not how we talk to Mashiach. But it should not be how you talk to your husband. Sister Azaria taught a lesson right at the very same campsite at Suco back in 2015 or so. And she said to the sister when she was teaching her sister's class, how is it we can go to the job and submit to people on the job and say, yes, sir. And whatever order that boss gives you, you do. But if you come on your each and ask you something, you got a whole lot of extra lists to say. You're not supposed to submit to your job or your boss man as unto the Lord. You're supposed to submit to your husband as unto the Lord. So there's certain things that you ought to work out. And I want men and women alike, brothers and sisters alike, to lose the male-female level war. Oh, it's the sister's fault. Oh, it's the brothers. Oh, they're Hebrew women. Oh, they're Hebrew brothers. Let us be the first fruits. That's right. Let us be the ones to be that's being marked so that what we had this Passover, we continue to grow and we can be a light to the rest of our brothers and sisters, and we can restore our families, we can restore our nation, and we can be marked with the name of the Most High God. Do not remain in 11 thoughts of negativity. Do not remain in sin, and do not remain in a place of saying, hey, Shai, it's not to you, it's to everybody, this is what we all say. Do not remain in a place of saying, I'm not ready yet. You're ready today because God called you today. So prepare yourself today. Do not wait. Just ask God for his help and guidance. Ask him to fill you with his ruach and let him deliver you. And with that, people, I hope you got some wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I love you all. For the most time, name you ever esteem. Hallelujah. This time, I know we have some people that have to get on the road, so we're going to get right into the Seder. You ready for it? So we're going to transition to the Seder meal. And while they're getting that prepared, I just want to go on record stating that what we're doing, as Maury Dawood said, we're memorializing. The lamb that we have is not a lamb without spot or blemish. This lamb is not actual Pesach, okay? The Pesach itself was the actual sacrifice. And it was the lamb without spot or blemish. What we're doing right now is just memorializing. This is not the Passover lamb that we're partaking of because it's not according to the statute that it was written. It's what we kept up of the first year to the 10th day and clear between even on the 14th. No bones can be broken. None of those things can happen. So this lamb is not the actual Passover lamb. This is us doing a memorial. Now we did cook it in regards to in compliance with the law of the Passover. That's why the lamb that you had on your plates was cooked differently than the lamb we're about to eat now. That's why we're waiting now for the Passover lamb, because we cooked this one for a specific Pesach representation. So it's cooked differently than the one you just ate. But again, it is not the Passover lamb, because we're not to the letter of the law in that regard, but we're trying to rehearse the righteous acts and just go through symbolic or just showing what they did on that night. So as they prepare the meals, we get ready for the Seder meal. And go ahead.
If you could, clear your tables out. If you don't have a plate, then you raise your hand. The plates that were on your table in front.
Throw it out, though.
Never mind. One right here.
That one, you should have did it. Should have did the seat first. I got the item.
Man, we gotta get on the road. It's like a 4-hour drive.
Oh, y'all ain't staying till Monday?
No. We checked out early. Stayed there early. Blowing off.
Oh, I thought y'all going to at least stay till Monday.
No, we was at the Marriott in Wilmington. It was nice though.
Hey, they got room in the cabin.
We gotta go. I can't buy no food. All my food is at my house. You know, I got kids, so I'd rather drive while they sleep.
I'm about to tell your dad or you too, Art. How about earlier today when I first got here, we ate some more of that cheese rice stuff, and I said, you ain't even tell your daddy we ain't eating. I said, you ain't even tell her we don't find food. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I know your dad ain't know you over here eating good like this, boy. They caught me at the right time, but dog. Hey, we was all hungry. I said, must be a while before we eat. I had to tell you. I said, you got to go tell your dad we got this good food over here.
But see, I ain't tell her that earlier. I was eating that good food with Abadai and
Oh, so you already had some?
Oh, yeah, Abad, look, I was with the Spanish. Over there.
That's for baby girl.
That's cute. In that case, soda.
That was a catch.
Yeah, that was a nice catch. That was a nice one.
See the gone.